This is Billy Pon, aka Bloody Bill, and I'm on the sit down with the 13th Wolfman. Hope I don't get bit in the ass this time.
Hey everybody, I'm the 13th Wolfman. You know who I have with me today on Sit Down? I've got Bloody Bill, Billy Pon, the madman behind Circus of the Dead, behind Doll Boy. If you haven't seen Doll Boy, check it out. Circus of the Dead will be coming out sometime. I was lucky enough to see it. Bill, thanks for joining me on Sit Down, man.
You didn't say behind Mr. Fister, but that's probably better because you don't want to be in front of Mr. Fister, if you know what I mean.
Well, I didn't want to bring up something that wasn't quite made yet, so
yeah,
but that's fine. Again, thanks for coming on, man.
Man, I appreciate the invite. Keep your teeth to yourself. I'm gonna pull out some silver bullets, cap your ass. So let's keep it legit. Keep it tied up here.
It's all good, man. I got no problem. Just you just keep the silver bullets down there.
Silver bullets is code for a seat, so you don't want no silver bullets. That's what you don't want. That was another line that got cut from Circus of the Dead with Papa's dialogue.
Oh,
silver
cool.
bullets. Yeah.
Well, I watched Circus of the Dead and I did enjoy it, but I have to ask, man, do you have some kind of aversion to clowns?
No, actually, I don't. I'm not scared of much. The only thing I'm scared of is long-term relationships. With the wrong woman, but the thing with clowns is it's hard to make a serious, good clown movie, and I just thought it would be a challenge. So I just started doing research, saying if I was to make a clown movie, how could I make it different than what's come before it, and still entertain people? So it was just more of a challenge, is why I wanted to do it.
Yeah, it just seems like there's been, like, within the last decade, man, there's been hand over fist these clown horror films, and you always hear that someone's like, yeah, I'm freaked out of clowns, so why not make it? I don't get it.
Well, I have two haunted houses. One of them is Circus of the Dead Murder Maze. And before I had that haunted house, people were going through my zombie haunted house, said, man, that was really scary, but I'm just glad you didn't have clowns in there because I'm really scared of clowns. And I just started, taking mental count of how many people actually said that each year. And then we opened up a clown haunted house. And a lot of people don't go to the haunted house just because of their fear of clowns, but do I get it? I don't get it.
I don't get it, man. I mean, to me, clowns are cool. Those haunted houses sound. I definitely am gonna have to make a trip to Texas to check those haunted houses out.
They're different because we like to do. We're not into all the animatronics and stuff. It's just old school, stuff. We decorate it as good as our movie sets, but it's kind of like what I try to tell everybody is you're in your own horror movie for 8 to 10 minutes. That's what I try to do when you get to go through the haunted house. I don't give you goofy tour guides or any of that kind of stuff. You just kind of go through there and live your own horror movie for about 10 minutes.
That's cool. I worked a haunted house in my teenage years down at the local recreational center. And every year I was the guy that got his head cut off. We had a guillotine and it had a cut area for the blade to come down, and there was a way to set up a fake head so it popped off, but it was I loved it, man. It was like being in an Alice Cooper rock video for
I started out by acting in them too and stuff. I always used to play Leatherface in my younger days. But then you can't, whenever somebody has a problem and they want to talk to a manager, you can't come out dressed as Leatherface with a chainsaw and talk business with somebody. So it kind of ended up being, you have to be more professional as a haunted house owner. You can't be in costume. So that's why I quit doing it. But, and I'm getting old, so I don't know if I want to do it anymore. But boy, it sure is fun whenever I was young. It surely was.
So in this movie, you mentioned, there's a mention to your first film, Doll Boy.
Yeah, it is actually a prequel. Doll Boy is a prequel to Circus of the Dead.
Yeah, where'd the idea for that one come from? I mean...
From Doll Boy?
Yeah.
Well, Doll Boy was a character in... see, what happens is Papa Corn, he takes these people like he took Parrish Randall, Don, or Jed Dusler, Brandon, and he turns them into things. And sometimes if they don't work out right and he don't think they can be like him, then they'll get killed off. But in some instances, like this Doll Boy was probably a guy that he picked up who was a pedophile, and he cut off his stuff, his dick and balls, and he made him into this Doll Boy character and uses him as a babysitter. And that's what was going on in Doll Boy is that's why you see all the kid stuff there. Is he threw these people in there and he basically told Doll Boy is leave me the most despicable person left. That's who we want to take to the circus. And that's where that comes from. Now the character itself, Sergio Gracita, my brother-in-law who plays Doll Boy, found that mask and he wanted to wear like coveralls or overalls. And I said, nah, we need to do something different that hasn't been done before. And I was jamming out to some AC/DC and I thought of Angus Young and I said, man, put him in a schoolboy outfit with that Doll Boy mask and it was the perfect combination. It's like, it was a home run.
Need to send that clip to Angus Young.
Yeah.
The old school metalhead, man. So I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right on.
She's got the jack.
She does got the jack. I feel bad for
her. Yeah. You did a PSA for Women in Horror Blood Drive.
Yes, I produced one.
Yeah, it was called The Letting.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, that was with Hannah Neurotica. Hannah's a dear friend of mine. We met years and years ago. Because when I first did Doll Boy, I didn't know what to do. You don't know the game. I started sending it to film festivals, and then I said, well, why don't I send it to Fangoria or something? So I wrote Fangoria, talked to Rebecca McKendry, and I sent her the DVD. And well, I guess these places send it out to reviewers to review these films. And she ended up reviewing it and liked it and all that. And we've just kind of had a friendship and all that. And she was telling me about her interest in wanting to direct. And she was getting ready to do this thing. And I said, well, we'll get your butt down here to Texas and use my crew. And, I'll edit it for you. And we did it that way. So it was just kind of, I like mentoring people, who want to, be better at what they're doing and to hone their craft and stuff. Because I'm the same way too, is I feel like we should just always be learning. If you're not learning something, then you're kind of going backwards in life, and we all need to be going forward. And that's how The Letting come about is I got to work with my friend and, teach her a bunch of stuff in the process. So I'm real proud of her for what she's accomplished.
I've been friends with her for, years now on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I remember when she was going to go down and shoot that,
Yeah, she actually stayed here and everything. And a lot of people, that's what's funny is there's a lot of indie horror coming out of Houston and Dallas. There's a lot in California and stuff like that, but there's nothing coming out of West Texas. So it was kind of a weird thing, her coming down here and stuff. But she kind of gets it now because we get away from everything, and I have so many connections and stuff here at the city, and so many contacts that if I need a movie theater, if I need a restaurant, if I need anything I can get that at just a phone call or something. And that's why I like filming here. Will I else in the future? Yeah, hopefully so, but right now I can do it so much more efficient here and just bring in the actors from, somewhere else.
Why bother?
Why bother? Right.
There's a lot of good indie horror stuff also coming out of Canada. I've been seeing a lot of stuff come out of there. The Door, that was really good.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah. I mentioned it earlier, Pinup Dolls on Ice. That's coming out.
I've heard of that one. We were in film festival in Spain with that one a couple of years ago or a year ago.
Yeah. I think that's one of the ones where they won like best
we didn't win anything in that one. That was actually the worst experience I had on Circus because and it was one of my earlier cuts of the movie, and if I had it to do again, they're really pushing me to do that, and I pushed that edit over there too quickly. But a lot of people in Spain bashed it, and so my first reviews coming out of the movie were pretty negative. And I had a negative review on Dread Central too by somebody that watched it at Frightmare. But other than that, that's the only bad reviews I've seen so far. So when your first couple of reviews are bad, it scares you. But now I get 98 good ones and maybe 2 bad ones or 2 okay ones. So it's holding up. And I want people to be honest. It doesn't hurt my feelings. You know what I mean? It's not everybody's cup of tea. I would just tell the people that get grossed out or think it's too much that it's not as bad as they think. It's kind of like when Chainsaw come out, that it's actually a movie disguised as a horror movie. So just give it a chance, usually, is what I would say. So,
yeah, I'm going to be reviewing it for my channel too. And I liked it. There were a few things that, and I've told you before what they were,
Yes.
But other than that, I really love this movie. It had a really cool feel and vibe to it. The creepy, I love it when a movie gives me like the total creepy vibe, and that's what this movie did. It just felt. I saw The Devil's Rejects, and after I saw that, I wanted to shower.
Yeah, it's yeah, we got that down too. That what is it called? The dirty aspect. It feels like this movie. It's kind of like what Chainsaw did in the sense of too. To me, it feels like Texas. What you see in Circus of the Dead is Odessa, Texas, and that's how it kind of is in real life. Other than the clowns jacking off outside your window.
I don't know about you, but I love all horror, Italian horror as much as American. Do you have any favorite Italian or foreign films you love?
I think one, and I wouldn't go and say it's the greatest movie or something, but sometimes you never know what movie's going to inspire you. And one movie that inspired me as a kid that I still watch to this day sometimes, and it inspired the whole Mr. Fister idea, was Torso.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just the way that trailer. I've seen that trailer one time, and it saturates the screen with terror. And that's what said it. Seeing Mr. Fister, I did the trailer. It goes, it penetrates the screen with terror. See, it's like I totally just ripped them off, in that because I mean, it inspired me, in the mind of a sexual psycho killer. It's like that kind of stuff just always stuck with me and scared me, and it's got that '70s vibe kind of thing, and I just like that movie a lot. So that would probably be my answer to that one. Of course, I love all the spaghetti westerns, with Clint Eastwood and stuff. But different genre, yeah.
Yeah, no, Torso, man, that's a great movie. That's another one that just got the whole creepy vibe down. I remember seeing that for the first time. God, I think it was like the mid early '80s. I was in my teens, and I honestly thought at that point in time, I thought no matter what horror film I watch, I could figure it out in 10 minutes. I've seen enough of them. I know all the plots.
Yeah.
No, not this movie. This
well,
movie.
That one is like Chainsaw Massacre is it's like it's got me hooked on '70s chicks. Like something hot about those chicks in Torso. Check those chicks out in Torso and see how hot they were. And same thing with freaking Chainsaw Massacre and stuff. Marilyn Burns and
Terry McKinn.
Yeah, Terry. And it's like holy crap. It's like they don't know, man. I don't know what happened.
No, I know what you're saying, man. You look back on it.
Yeah, '70s chicks are man.
Eli Roth said when he was making Cabin Fever, he wanted to bring back what was referred to as the '70s breast.
I got you. Yeah, I know what that is. I can see it when I close my eyes. I can see those.
And basically, he's just saying something that's not stuffed.
Yeah, there you go. It's real.
Yeah, it's real. The '70s breast. That's why he cast Jordan Ladd and Serena Vincent. But yeah, you're right. The '70s chicks were hot. I mean, there's there's Carolyn Monroe. Like you said, Sally Hart. Marilyn Burns, and the list goes on and on.
Who's the one I'm missing in the? I should kick myself for not knowing this, but from the Deep.
Susan.
No.
Yes.
Oh, I'm kicking myself. It's on the end of my
I got my
Famous. She's been around forever.
Yeah.
Now that
I know
that movie that's talking about '70s, man. '70s hotness right there.
Oh yeah. So you basically, from what you told me earlier, is that you work at a news station.
Yes, CBS 7 in Odessa, Texas.
And that kind of got you into making, basically sitting around going, I can make a movie.
No, well, actually, truth be told, I worked at a farm in Dallas, like giving kids tours, like hay rides and showing them how to make candles and all this kind of junk, letting them feed the goats and stuff. But then I come down here to visit my dad to Odessa, Texas on vacation, and I seen a job for a TV station. And I thought, well, if I could get into a TV station, I could learn to use a camera, learn to edit, maybe some writing and stuff like that. So I got a job there and ended up being a newscast director. So I was like punching buttons, to change news cameras and all this kind of stuff to do the show. And I did that for 5 or 6 years, eyeballing creative services. And when the guy was ready to retire, I said, hey, this is something I want to do. And then once I started doing that, I started shooting commercials and editing and stuff and writing commercials. And then I said, well, let's try Doll Boy. And I used the same equipment I used for commercials. And that's what we did is we made it that way. So I basically got into the TV station with the purpose of learning how to, use a camera and edit and all that kind of stuff. And that's the only reason I ever took that job there.
I had my channel for a few years now. And just last year I started learning to edit.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Yeah.
I started with Windows Movie Maker.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I figured I might as well learn on the simplest format, and it's free with the software.
Well,
And
people
just
ask me, but it doesn't matter what kind of editor you got because there's no bells and whistles in Circus of the Dead. I mean, unless you're doing those porn wipes that they use in Star Wars, which are kind of hokey, you don't want to use that kind of weird stuff anyway. It needs to be, straight cut or dissolve or fade. You know what I mean? You don't need a bunch of bells and whistles as long as it can accept really high, formats, high quality formats. That's all that really matters.
well, I just stepped up from I just moved on from Windows Movie Maker to Adobe Premiere
Good. That's a good one.
Elements 13.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so much nicer. I now can add music and sound effects, and I'm having a lot of fun learning.
Good. No, it's therapeutic, man. It's good. It's better than the crack pipe.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So there's a 68 Camaro in this movie.
Yes.
Yeah. And how did you get lucky enough to get your hands on this ride to put it in the movie?
Well, that goes back to all my connections here. I got a buddy named Bo Perez, and I was telling him I'm going to be looking for a muscle car, and he said he had that. And I go, well, we're going to use it in the movie, man. And I said, it might take us a couple of nights. Well, 15 nights later, but he was there every night and never bitched once or anything like that. And he's got his car, and I keep telling him, don't sell it. He keeps thinking he's going to sell it. And I go, you better wait till the movie comes out because if this is a big cult hit, that might be a really good find for you someday.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, that's a beautiful car.
Somebody will buy it someday.
Yeah, 68 Camaro 350. It's that GM green with the SS stripes.
Mm-hmm.
God, I bet you if you just jumped on it, that thing would get up and go.
It was he's put a new motor in it, I believe now. I think he might have already done it. I'm not sure. He's putting a crate motor, even bigger motor, because I think it only had like a 350 in it at the time.
Yeah, well, that's what it said on the fender.
Yeah, but I think he's putting a crate motor in it now.
Oh my God. Let me guess, the 572.
I don't know if it's that or a 454. He's putting something huge in it.
Wow. I know 572 is the biggest motor Chevy makes, and that thing's supposed to be, it's like 572, it's like 450 horsepower. I mean, that thing's crazy.
Well, it barely held that Ryan Clapp, Noodle Dome the Clown. It was, whenever we're doing those driving things, I had to speed them up because the suspension went out and it was scraping on the ground because he was so big. And so we had a hell of a time with that suspension on that with all those clowns in that car.
Oh my God, that's funny. Now, the music in this movie is so great. In fact, at the beginning of the movie, without giving too much away, when they showed the clowns at 2 different times, it seems like they were playing old music, and I was like, oh, this is kind of a cool effect. Every time they show the clowns, they're kind of giving me this transition that they're going to be talking about older stuff.
Yeah, like Do Wackadoo and Let Me Call You Sweetheart.
Let Me Call You Sweetheart, yeah.
Yeah. Well, they do that for a reason. Because I'm telling you, the reason they do that is if you go back to Doll Boy. Remember when Doll Boy is playing the record player, they're scavengers. Noodle Dome's a trash scavenger. So he probably found an old record player, and he's got a Bozo the Clown record or a Paul Whitman orchestra with Do Wackadoo. So it's like, he's not cool enough to have a MP3 player, so he's lucky just to have a record player, and that's what that's all about. And that's what I was telling you is like, if you have something, you got to go with it because you don't want to force something into the scene. It's like that's what he would actually have in there playing is that, and that's why that's in there.
Yeah, and it just seemed like as the movie progresses, the music stays with us. I mean, the beginning of the movie's tame. I mean, and then it just gets the intensity jacks up, and so does the music, and it's got this perfect synchronicity of the two pieces going together. It's so the music is great in this.
Well, we had a good Esau Ramirez and I worked on the music as far as picking the songs out that we wanted to use, and mostly all Texas people. And then Lauren Morris out at Scorpion Ranch in Scorpion Sound Design in Austin, Texas. She did the score and stuff by that, and that was the whole thing. She wanted to keep ramping it up, and that's what I told her. I said, let's just ramp this up and then just yank the rug out from under somebody, let them bust their ass. And that's what we like doing. So it was fun working with her and stuff like that. And we did a lot of good work together in our collaboration and all.
Yeah, you did a great job. So what's your favorite 80s film, horror film?
80s? Would it be The Shining? Shining's in the 80s, right?
Shining came out in 1980.
So I'd probably say that one. It's probably my favorite. Off top of my head. I'd have to look at a list and see. But The Shining is very important to me as far as that. There's a couple movies I say I totally rip off from. Is be like Jaws is important, The Exorcist, Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and The Shining.
The only thing I could see that you take away from Jaws is the buildup, the intensity, the pacing, because that was really important in Jaws, and you nailed it in this movie.
Well, what I tried to from Jaws 2 on that is like what I like too is their dialogue. Like I thought they had really good dialogue. There's three guys in a boat talking about that thing. Remember, and he ends up going to the story about the sharks and all that kind of stuff, killing his other the other soldiers and stuff on that boat and stuff in Indianapolis. But that's what I like from that movie is it's like the dialogue and stuff too. Is I'm trying to be a better dialogue writer, and I got Popcorn pretty good. I just need to get all the other my characters just as strong as Popcorn next time, and I could hit a home run.
Yeah, I think you did really well with this one. If you could write, act, direct, produce any classic horror film, what would it be?
Well, I mean, I know I could save the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise that they're running. I wouldn't mind taking a chance at like a Phantasm because that would be a fun 3D movie, which I think they're already starting to make some of that stuff too. Yeah, but other than that, I would take a really bad movie like Dr. Chopper or something like just horrible. Or Trailer Park Massacre or something, just something that was so bad and redo that away.
Trailer Park Massacre was hilarious. There's a I remember seeing this, and there's a scene in it. Oh no, was that Motorhome Massacre?
Motorhome Massacre. One of them the box looked really cool, and then I watched the movie, and I just didn't see anybody getting any chainsaw or anything.
And there's one guy that steps outside, and he's wearing like a blue, button-up shirt. Uh-huh. He steps inside the motorhome, and he's now got a sweater vest on.
Yeah.
On top of the blue button-up shirt. He steps back outside, and it's gone. It's like, really? You guys couldn't figure out that?
It's hard. There's some in Circus like that, too. There's a scene I could point out to you that you didn't notice, but there's something really fucked up like that going on, and nobody ever notices it, but it's in Circus. Wow. Yeah. Wow. There's a part, I'll even tell you, there's a part where Bill's got his jacket on, and then he's got it off, and then he's got it on. And he's like, don't even notice. People don't even notice, but if you look closely, you could tell.
Okay. I'm going to have to look for that. What's your favorite worst movie of all time?
Favorite worst movie of all time? Yeah. Circus of the Dead?
No, come on.
Favorite worst movie of all time? Man, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to say Killer Clowns from Outer Space. You know what I'll say? I'll say Trick or Treat with from the 80s.
Oh, with Ozzy and Gene Simmons.
Yeah. With the Mark Price guy or whatever, Skippy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably my favorite one. Like, see, that would be one I'd like to tangle after. I mean, if I had to do a remake, I'd do something like that. Would be a lot of fun, especially with my music background and stuff. And
yeah, I loved that movie when it came out.
Great soundtrack, Fastway, underrated. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, man, I want to thank you for coming on. If you want, you could tell people where to find you.
Just look for me on Facebook. I think it's just anywhere on there. Look up Billy Pon or Bloody Bill, or just Google my name. You can usually find something or some gay pictures of me or something. But just look me up and hit me up, and don't bother me too bad because I've been busy lately.
Yeah. You got to let the man write. I mean, he wants to put out these movies. He's got to write them.
Movies. I know. I do want to make more movies. You'd be surprised how you have a semi-successful film, how many actors and actresses and other people come out to want to work with you. And that's cool, too, because that's how you meet people. But I always say, send me a demo reel, and I at least watch one demo reel on anybody, if they send it to me. It's 4 or 5 minutes, I'll watch it. And if it's something that sticks out, I'll make a note about it. And that's how I come across some of the actors on Circus.
So I know that you don't have a definite date of when Circus is coming out.
I wish I did. We are working hard on it, though.
Okay. Well, you keep me informed, and I'll keep all you informed.
Right on.
For that,
buddy.
Well, Billy, like I said before, I want to thank you for coming on. I enjoyed this. I actually enjoyed doing the Dorkening with you also. You're welcome back anytime, man. I want to just sit down and just nod with you about movies, man. It doesn't even have to be about, your stuff.
Well, yeah, it's. I haven't been up to date on the new stuff, but the old stuff I've watched a lot of that and stuff like that, and I appreciate the opportunity to sit and shoot the shit with you. It's been a lot of fun. I had a blast with you guys here and on the Dorkening and all that stuff. So I appreciate it. I was in a hurry tonight, so I'm just now getting comfortable and talking and stuff like that. So all the other stuff I was probably like crazy and whacked out of my head, but that's good for a horror director, right? That's good. Yeah.
Hey, look at Hitchcock, man.
Yeah, he's dead. Wait, what do you mean?
For that, and for Billy Pon, I am the 13th Wolfman, and I'm on the prowl.